affirmative action, and we're talking to Dr. EKSanford from Tennessee State University and Ms. Laverne Walker from Clarksville, Tennessee. Ms. Walker, before we had our first commercial break, we promised that we'd give you an opportunity to make some statements in reference to affirmative action and how you see the evolution of affirmative action, and let's give you an opportunity to do that now.
Fine. Civil rights acts go back to 1866, as it has to be seen in a historical context. And there were several civil rights acts, but somehow or other they never got implemented. So you have the Civil Rights Act of 1866, several in between. Then you had the Civil Rights Movement of the 1960s, and out of that came the Civil Rights Act of 1964. And to get that moving, Lyndon Baines Johnson came out with an executive order, 11246 and 11375. 11246 is for race, and 11375 is for women. And this was an executive order to establish affirmative action. But it's always in the implementation. We can have something written into law, but it just seems to take the longest time, and it drags on and on and on. So it wasn't until 1978 that they really got a structure, and the OFCCP as the agency that was going to monitor affirmative action. There's always this resistance to change. And so there was a lot of animosity towards affirmative action, but it came about because of the industry that was receiving federal funds. So any institution or agency that was receiving federal funds had to have an affirmative action plan with the OFCCP, which is the Office of Federal Contract Compliance Programs, monitoring those plans. People have a real misconception, and a lot of people, you have to understand, did not want affirmative action to work. So a lot of nepotism was happening in the workplace because most businesses were started by families, so family members were involved. But if they were getting federal funds, it was a requirement that they have this affirmative action plan and to do extensive outreach, advertisement, and hiring practices that would bring a diverse population into the workplace. A lot of times, besides nepotism, there was tokenism. People were brought into the workforce, specifically the protected groups, the race, color, women, so forth, and they weren't qualified. And it was purposefully done in a lot of instances to say, see, we brought this person in, but they can't do the job. And you still hear these contentions that we can't find people who are qualified. And this is after 40 years. I mean, we have qualified people, and we still can't, they're not releasing those kinds of thoughts that we can't find people. Affirmative action's really for everyone. It's a fair and open process that is consistently applied, and it's by top management, so that you bring in the people who are qualified to fill those levels of the workplace